Hi, my name's Monica. I'm from the Conan Adult Day program. Today I'm going to do a video program for you. It's a word scramble. It's a game that we like to play at Conan, and I thought I'd add some fun facts into there as well. So when I show a word, you need to unscramble it for me. So here's our first word. All these words are going to be flower related, so that should help. This flower reminds us of the beautiful sunshine. And if you need to pause, just pause whenever you need. Okay, this certain flower comes out normally in August. It reminds us more of the fall coming. It's beautiful yellow. It's the sunflower. Sunflower is an annual plant with a large daisy-like flower face. Okay, our next flower. A hint, this flower starts with a G. This flower is very easy to take care of. Even I can put it in hanging baskets. Great. The answer is geraniums. Geraniums have been loved for over 200 years and are so easy to take care of. Your next flower. These come in a lot of different colors. Starts with an H. These ones will sit at the back of the garden. From what I get from it, they're taller, so people put them at the back and smaller ones out front. They're hydrangeas. They're a popular shrub with colorful flowers that bloom through the summer and into the fall. Good. Our next flower. My conant friends, this is the one we planted around our vegetable garden in the back to help keep the bugs away. I think it worked. And it starts with an M. And this is another one that kind of reminds you of the sun, more of a sunset. It's beautiful sunshine colors of the yellow and orange. It's the marigolds. Marigolds are a favorite no-fuss annual that can bring the color of sunshine to your garden. At home, I happen to plant these as well. Last year, they really grew. They did well. And they actually are supposed to bring butterflies to your garden, so that's lovely. To our next word. This one's a little easier. It's a smaller word. It starts with V. A lot of people actually have this plant in the house in Canada. It's a violet. So a lot of people have the African violet houseplant. I'm not sure if many people plant these outside. You can put a little comment on the bottom if you love doing that. Here's your next one. This word, it is a flower, but it reminds me so much of a song that we sing at Conant. It's a girl's name. It's a beautiful name. And this song is about a bicycle built for two. And you got it, it's daisy. It's a common flower, the common daisy, a lawn daisy or English daisy, it can be called. Your next flower. This one has an X in it. You don't always see that. This one's a fun name. I like it. It reminds me of a cute animal that we have that comes out at night. He's got his gloves on. He's ready to fight. It's the foxgloves. Foxgloves are eye-catching flower plants. They're tall, slender plants with tubular blooms. They're beautiful. Your next word. This reminds us of Remembrance Day. That is your hint. Okay, and if you got that, it's poppies. The poppy plant is an ancient flowering plant, long desired by gardeners in a range of landscape situations. In Canada, I know for me, it reminds me of Remembrance Day. Everybody wears this until November 11th. Can you think of the poem that was written about poppies? That's right, it's In Flanders Fields. It's beautiful. To your next flower. This one also starts with a P. And a hint for this one is in June, normally Oshawa has a festival just specifically for this flower we celebrate. And if you guessed it, it's the peonies. I actually have one of these in my garden at home. They're beautiful. They do attract ants. It's the only thing about those. Here's your next flower. This is a long one. This one reminds me of bees, not because they love it, which they may, but more because it's something that they make in the name of this. Starts with an H. And it's a honeysuckle. Everyone recognizes that lovely fragrance of a honeysuckle plant and the sweet taste of nectar. They're an interesting looking plant. Okay, your next one. This happens to be my favorite flower, sorry. Has a beautiful reminders of spring coming, and it's the tulip. So the tulips actually have an interesting history. I know we think of the Dutch, because I grew up with that being my ancestry, but actually it was in Asia, I believe China, where they're huge, and then they became massive in Holland, and they still are. After World War II, the Dutch royal family sent 100,000 tulip bulbs to Ottawa in gratitude for Canadians sheltering the future Queen Juliana and her family for the preceding 3 years during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. Every year, they still send us 20,000 tulip bulbs to say thank you. And if you've never been, the Ottawa Tulip Festival is incredible. I think it's just a beautiful place to go. It's not far from here. This year we can't go, but hopefully next year it's worth a trip. It's really pretty. A little break for some cute humor, something to share. What do you get when you plant kisses? Tulips. Which flower talks the most? Tulips, of course, because they have 2 lips. Eye-rolling humor. It's fun. All right, your next flower. These ones start with a D. And these ones are like the tulip. They're a huge reminder of spring. Actually, I think they tend to come up even before the tulips. And that's the daffodil. They're a fall planted bulb, so you plant them in the fall so they can come up in the late winter, early spring. And the next flower. This one was at Conant when we did a check to see everybody's favorite flower. The tulips was a few people, but this one was a big one. And that's the rose. And the red rose too was a favorite. And what's interesting about the rose is every color means something different. So I actually found a sheet to share with you, the next page here. And it tells you what the colors mean. So it's kind of fun. It depends on who you're giving it to. If you want to take a snapshot of this or just pause it, and if you're interested, you can look at it. But we know that red is the big one. It's love, beauty, courage, and respect. Pink is appreciation, perfect happiness. And yellow, I see a lot of yellow ones for friends, which is right, it says joy and friendship. And they all just have a different meaning of what you're trying to say. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, your next flower. These flowers have a lot of different names. This is the one I believe we use most, but it has quite a few you'll see on the list. And this describes what the flower looks like, this name. Starts with a B. And it's the bluebells. Okay, your next flower. I'm going to give you a second for this one. You might see it right away, but I love the name of this one too. It starts with an S. Reminds me of something mystical. And that's the snapdragons. Snapdragons come in dwarf, intermediate, and tall sizes. I thought it was interesting. They come in a lot of colors, but not blue. And blue is my favorite, but that's okay. I'll forgive it. The next one. This is a very simple garden flower that a lot of people have in their gardens. It starts with a P. And it's the pansy. Okay, your next flower. This one's also a garden flower. It's something that reminds me of a perennial, but it's actually an annual. It's a very big bud. It's the dahlia. I think they're really pretty. They're a tender annual, but they say you can overwinter them, and people have been able to bring them back out again the next year. And your next flower. I always spelled this one wrong. I had to check it 3 times to make sure I did it right, because we kind of say it like we're not being patient, but the opposite. That's right, it's the impatience. I always want to say impatience, but it's impatience. This flower I've actually used quite a bit in my garden. It's very simple to have in the garden and just seems to thrive. Your next flower. This flower in Canada is more of an indoor flower, and it does not take topsoil to grow this flower. They are quite beautiful when they're in bloom. It's the orchid. Something I've done well keeping alive, but once it dies, I never know how to bring it back. So if you have some good advice, that'd be something to share. A lot of us could use that. And the next flower, this is our last flower for today. This one is used for a lot of holistic uses for health, the smell of it plus the actual flower itself. It starts with an L. And it's a lavender. It's a bushy, strong scented perennial plant from the Mediterranean. This next page here, it's a beautiful picture of a lavender field. I've never been to one. I know we actually have some local, which is great. I'd love to go check it out. But they have a lot of medicinal uses. I have here on the page just some examples. It reduces anxiety, heals burns, improves sleep, slows aging, alleviates headaches, improves eczema, reduces acne and scarring. I also know when my kids were young, I put it in their tub. I just put some drops of oil, and it seemed to help them feel calm. So I think it was helpful. It's a beautiful smell anyways. This is my last part of the program today. This is a word, chrysanthemum, that at Conan, we sat there with this word and we had to see how many words we could come up with out of this word. We came up with over 100 without using Google. You're not allowed to cheat. And it has to be 3 letters or more. So if you write this word down on a piece of paper, sit outside in the deck of beautiful sunshine and see how many words you can come up with out of this. And let us know. We'd love to hear if you can get more than us. That was fun. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that you're enjoying the beautiful sunshine. And just thank you so much for being part of this. Bye.